So what I have here is the brand new Citta Sling from Fyro. It is the company's very first sling, and it's launching in conjunction with the Levo travel backpack and also the Fyro packing cubes. Now I have a whole separate video on the Levo travel backpack and the packing cubes. I definitely think you should check that video out. Even though this is also the very first travel backpack from the company, I think it inserts itself as an immediate contender with some of the larger names in the travel space like Tortuga and Air. So if you're in the market for a new travel bag, I definitely do think that the Levo 30 travel backpack is worthy of your consideration. But in today's video, we're gonna unpack all the details of the Citta Sling. I'm gonna show you the ins and outs, I'm gonna pack it out for you, and I'm gonna give you my honest thoughts and opinions. Now, full disclosure, Fyro did send the Citta Sling out for me to test and review. I am also friends with Fyro's owner, Aaron. He may have even seen me on his podcast, but I was not paid. This isn't a sponsored video. All opinions expressed are my own, and the goal of this channel still remains the same, to actually use and test every piece of gear that gets reviewed and to give you my honest thoughts and feedback. Now, with all that being said, let's start unpacking the details of the Citta Sling. What's up, friends? I'm John and this is Unpack'd. If you're new here, welcome. I am glad to have you. Now, if you're watching this video, you probably already know who and what Fyro is. And of course, you would know that Fyro's owner, Aaron, is the host of the popular gear review channel, Nomad's Nation, right here on YouTube. So he launched his own bag brand, designing and building different pieces of gear using his experience of reviewing over 500 different pieces of gear and combining that with feedback from the carry community itself. Now, he's documenting that entire journey over on the Fyro YouTube channel, so definitely check that out. So this is a culmination of that process, the Citta Sling. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw the tech specs for you up on the screen. Please feel free to give that a pause if you wanna get a better look at any of those numbers. But currently, at the time of pre-order launch, the Citta Sling is gonna be available in two different sizes, a 1 liter and a 3 liter. And that's what I have for you right here is the 3 liter version of the sling. Now, this 3 liter version is actually gonna be available in two different colors, a limited edition green and the black that I have for you right here. Now, current at the time of the video, the retail price on the larger one is gonna be $119 and the smaller one, $109. And of course, if you're getting in on the pre-order launch, you can save an additional 10%. And I think if you bundle with the backpack, you save some more percentage points on that as well. So starting with the bag's overall aesthetics, is going to maintain that super clean and sleek and minimal design. Very classic design when it comes to slings. Very prominent on the front are these 4 darts that are sewn in here. And you're going to find that across many bags of this size and this style, because these darts allow the front pocket to lay flat when not used, but also allow it to puff out and expand when you are putting gear into this front compartment. But overall, just a classic elongated sling design. Nothing crazy, very classic, sleek and minimal design that we've seen and known and come to love across many different brands. When it comes to the bag's quality, like I do every product, I give it a very thorough inspection right out of the box. And what I found on this one was to be excellent quality across the board. I didn't find any loose threads, any misaligned stitching, any weird stitching, or any unproportional patterning to the bag. Everything is nicely tightly sewn. Everything is proportional. Everything just looks super sleek and great. Nice touch and finish to the bag. So if you already have the Fyro T22, it's going to be the same quality, as this is made in the same factory as the Fyro T22. So you can expect that same level of craftsmanship here with the Citta Sling. So the primary fabric here is going to be a 330D polycarbonate Codra. It's the exact same material you're going to find on the Levo travel backpack and as well as the Fyro T22. So they're keeping the same material across the board. And like I noted in my Levo travel backpack review, it's more of a muted black, more of a subdued black, a matte black, if you will. And it does show signs of dust and debris on it more than my other black bags, because it's not a true black. But anything you pick up on it can easily be wiped off with a damp cloth or your simple brush of the hand. So I did notice that if you do put this bag down on the ground, you are going to pick up some dust marks, but again, easily cleaned. And overall, the material is going to be pretty resistant to pet hair, dust, debris, anything of that nature. But usually just a quick flick of the wrist and your bag should be looking new again. Now, when it comes to the rest of the materials and hardware on this sling, Fyro did choose to use premium hardware like YKK zippers, You have aluminum Wuben gatekeepers on the back here for the strap, and of course more Wuben plastic adjustment hardware here. So I like the choice of using just regular YKK reverse coil zippers, because that's going to give this an extremely smooth operation every single time you use the bag. So I prefer this way more than having a PU coated or an AquaGuard zipper, as I don't usually get caught in the rain very often. So I do like the choice of just going with the fully functional YKK zipper on all the compartments. Along the front, you do have a little bit of branding here with the Fyro logo on the Hyperlon loop here. It's going to be very similar or exactly the same as the Levo travel backpack. You have these nice Hyperlon zipper pulls that give it a nice grippy texture, making it real easy to open and close the zipper compartments. Now there are no counter pulls on any of the zipper compartments, but because you're using regular YKK zippers, they are not needed. So whether this bag is empty or fully stuffed, you're gonna get a smooth operation from the zippers, even when rounding these corners there at the top. Now one sneaky cool little feature of these zipper tracks are these little security loops that are sewn into the bottom of the zipper tracks. So that's there so you can easily tuck the zipper heads behind this loop, and making it more difficult for a pickpocketer or would-be thief to get into your zipper compartment. So right there, they won't be able to unzip the compartment because of just that little simple webbing loop there. Now this is something similar I've seen on the Cotopaxi bags. It's super easy and a great way to implement a little bit of security. It's going to take a little bit of effort to get the zipper heads out. So the whole goal is to not make yourself an easy target, and something as simple as these little webbing loops down at the corner make you less of a target. Now moving over to the back side of the bag, we don't have any air mesh or anything of that nature, just more of that 330D Codra material. So up top you have the two webbing loops for you to attach the strap, because the strap is fully removable, and you can use this as a pouch or a tech pouch or a toiletry kit if you wanted to inside of your bigger Levo travel backpack. But since this is the only two attachment points, this is going to be best used as a chest bag or worn across the back. It's not going to function very well as a fanny pack or a hip pack, so just keep that in mind. This is going to be a true chest sling or back sling. Now another thing to note on a strap, it is a closed loop system, so you don't have to worry about any dangle, and I honestly wouldn't expect anything less from Aaron since he's on a personal crusade to end all dangle. There is no additional padding down at the bottom, so that allows the sling to compress really nice when it's not fully packed out. So another great feature there, that overall, when it's completely empty, that this maintains a pretty sleek and slim profile. So jumping into the bag's interior, this is a 3-compartment sling. You have a front pocket, the main compartment, and the back pocket here. In this front compartment, you are going to be met with the custom 100D copper ripstop nylon that they're using also in the T22, and it's the same interior you're also going to find in the Levo travel backpack. It's a beautiful copper color, and it has this really cool honeycomb ripstop pattern to it. I like it very much. It's really aesthetically pleasing to me. I do love the lining that Fyro is using in their bags. Now in this compartment, you are going to have no additional organization on the inside. The only other thing you're going to have in here is the removable key leash that does have an aluminum hasp on it. Very premium feeling. I like the webbing on the leash itself, and it is removable, and you do have one additional spot, I believe, to disconnect it here. You can also connected on the inside of the back pocket as well. There's a little loop there to attach the key leash or anything else really that you want to attach. Now up at the top of this front compartment, you have a power pass-through, and that goes into the main compartment. So in the main compartment here, you have a classic layout. It's what I refer to as a classic layout. You have your tech compartment back here on the back. It is nicely padded with that lycra material that they're using on all the other T22 and Levo backpacks as well. Everything's just transferring over to a smaller version essentially on materials. It's nicely padded. You have two wonderful stretch pockets on the back side here. And then on the opposite side, you have one zippered mesh pocket as well. And then you see that power pass-through slot right there. So the idea of this power pass-through is to load your power bank in the front and pass the wire through to charge your device on the inside of your main compartment here. Now I just picked up this battery power bank. This is the Iniu P50. This is a 10,000 milliamp power bank, super fast charging at 45 watts. You can charge up to 3 devices at once. But the coolest thing about this is the actual lanyard itself is the built-in USB-C cables for you to charge your device. So of course I always put links to products in my videos in the description down below if you want to check any of the gear I'm using today. This is the latest thing that I'm testing. Pretty awesome, 45 watts fast charging. The idea is you put this in the front compartment and then pass the cable through this hole here and charge your device on the inside. Now, I've had several pieces of gear use this style of power pass-through. Has anybody ever used it? Can you be honest with me? Now, I've had several slings. I've even had a tech case from Thule that had power pass-through, and I've never ever used it. I never used it on this sling either. So let me know down in the comments, is this a feature that you like? Is this a feature you find useful, or are you like me and have never used it? Let me know down in the comments. Now, it doesn't hurt anything by having it because you're essentially just putting a hole there from compartment to compartment. So no harm, no foul. It's just something I thought it was curious because I never actually used those features myself on any of the backpacks and tech pouches and other slings that have that feature. In addition to being a power pass-through, this is also your smart tracker slot. Now it is wide, so you can fit a variety of different smart trackers, but this is one thing I failed to mention on the Levo travel backpack review. If you're using the smaller, thinner AirTag, there's a lot of room and a lot of play in here. So I did have on my Levo travel backpack that when the bag would lay down, I had this smart tracker pop out 2 times while laying the bag down. I didn't really experience this problem on the Citta Sling because this usually remains upright and on body. So just something to keep in mind, that if you're using a smaller, thinner AirTag, there's a lot of play in there and it could potentially slip out if you were to flip this bag over or lay this bag on its side. It does want to poke its head out there. So another thing to note on the main compartment, that it has these gussets on the side. As you can see, there's sewn in gussets, and what that allows you to do is when this bag's worn on the body and you open it, it kind of keeps it here at this 45-degree angle, and it doesn't allow the flap to completely open, dumping all the components of your gear. So something simple and small, but a nice little feature there to have the gussets to keep everything contained if you do open the zipper to its entirety. And then the only additional pocket is going to be on the back side, and this is typically where people load their passports, wallets, important documents, anything you want to keep secure, as this is the part that's going to be riding closest to your body and least likely to get pickpocketed or, you know, stolen from. Now inside this pocket, there's no internal organization. It's just a big dumb pocket. Like I mentioned earlier, you do have the key loop up top if you wanted to move the key lanyard back here. But on this 3-liter sling size, I actually found that this pocket was big enough to house both my passport and my wallet. So I have my Wayfinder bifold wallet, and then I have my Wayfinder passport wallet, and both of these were able to fit side by side, and they're relatively fat, so they fit fairly well in there inside that compartment. So nice feature, being able to keep my wallet and my passport together, safe and secure in that back pocket. So the internal organization of the Fyro Citta reminds me a lot of the Aviator T35. This is the X-Pack version from TomTalk. You have that sleeve in the back, you have 2 mesh pockets, and then the zippy in the front. So it's the same layout as the Aviator T35. So it's something that I'm really used to. And overall, it's just a classic design and really functional design in my opinion. So because this is a 3-liter sling, you do have quite a bit of capacity in the main compartment. So you can load different things. So like when I was using this to go out and film, I could actually take my whole drone. It would fit in there. I could fit my DJI Pocket 3 will fit in there with the extension handle. So very useful size. You can actually fit, these are the XM6 headphones, and they fold up quite nice, and they would actually fit down in the compartment as well and zip up. So you can actually carry a full set of over-the-ear headphones, assuming they fold up. I don't think like your AirPod Maxes may not fit because they don't fold, but anyway, these XM6s are awesome. They would fit down in there. So this is typically a size that I would use for travel. So on this backside, it's a spot meant for your devices, so it can fit an iPad mini, and of course your largest Apple iPhone will fit in there no problem. Now on the backside with these 2 mesh pockets, this mesh is really nice. It has a lot of stretch and a lot of give. I kept my Ikigai vitamin case in there with my allergy meds and vitamins. You can probably hear it in my voice how bad my allergies are. A good place to keep those, keep track of my gum. On this other side is actually where I kept my Iniu P50 power bank. That's where I housed it right there. And on this opposite flap here, you do have a nice material down at the bottom, so it's soft. If you wanted to put some sunglasses in there, you could do so. Myself, I just kept my Cliff Bar snack and my Wuben G5 Flashlight. I do believe in carrying a flashlight on me at all times. And I do travel with one. This is the one I've been traveling with, my flashlight in there, and a pen. These are items that I don't typically need quicker access to, but I like to keep them organized in there. And in here, like I said, you could fit a variety of things. You could even fit a standard bottle of water in there if you really wanted to. It'll fit down at the bottom. And of course, all that is gonna change how you load out the other pockets in this bag. But normally for me, I just kept my sunglasses down in there. And also I tossed in my AirPods. And lastly, in this main compartment, you can just load up the smart tracker of your choice. So let's get this zippered up. That's all I kept in the main compartment. So now for this front compartment, you can see that it's already getting kind of tight because the main compartment's pushing in here. So even though you have these darts for added volume, it can still get pretty tight in there. So I kept the items in here pretty simple. I would have just attached my keys to the key fob, tuck them in there. And then on the other side, I'll just keep some quicker access items that I would need access to when traveling. Hand sanitizer, of course, down in there. Chapstick, and of course my re-wetting drops for my contacts. And that's how I would pack out my Citta Sling for travel. So when it comes to the Citta Sling's overall comfort, I think Fyro did a good job here in selecting a wider than a 1-inch strap. It's actually 1.25 inches wide. So even though this is only a 3-liter sling, I think having the wide strap helps with overall weight distribution. So it's gonna carry quite comfortably when it's fully loaded. And then in the addition of choosing this super soft material that allows it to still be slick, so it can move around your body easily, but it's also not going to be real scratchy on the skin. It's just going to contribute to the overall comfort. And because there are no buckles across the back, you have an adjustment slider, but it faces outward, so the side that's actually towards your back is completely flat. So you have nothing pushing into your back or nothing pushing into your chest if you're wearing the sling on the back. So overall, I think if you fully pack out the Citta Sling, it's still going to carry quite comfortably, whether you have it in the front in the chest position or mount it to the back position. It's still going to be a very comfortable sling for you to carry. Now, when it comes to some things that I really liked about the Citta Sling from Fyro, it's going to come down to the small details, because I think the overall design isn't really reinventing the wheel per se, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, because slings in this design language and this style have proven themselves to be really functional in the real world and highly liked by many users across the board. So I don't think that that's a problem. It's going to be the small details that are going to set itself apart from those style and type of slings. And the very first thing for me is going to be the overall weight of this sling. This thing is extremely light. I think that it attributes to the choice of materials here, but having a 3-liter sling this lightweight, it doesn't feel like a brick just putting it on, because I have some heavier slings that fully empty, I mean, they just feel like a tank when you're wearing them. So it's extremely compact, extremely lightweight, even though it is a 3-liter capacity sling. Another small detail I actually really appreciated about the Citta Sling is the little security loops that were sewn down at the ends of the zipper track. I think it's such a great and easy way to implement a little bit of security into the bag without having to add additional components or additional weight to the bag. And when you're out traveling, it's actually really easy to implement on the fly. So I think that anything that's going to make you less of a target to thieves when you're traveling is a great feature. And lastly, one thing I thought that was pretty awesome on the sling, and this is some real nerd stuff, is actually the carry strap itself. Now, it's using aluminum hardware, so it adds to the premium feeling. It's using a closed loop system, so you don't have any dangle. It's using this flat slider there so the buckle isn't digging into your back or digging into your chest. I think that's a feature that most people probably don't notice, but highly appreciate, because if you had a giant fidlock buckle there, trust me, you would know that it's there. So it's a sneaky way to sneak in some comfort. And overall, I think the design of the strap and the choice of materials makes this one of the better straps that I've had to use on different slings that I've been testing. Now, what are some things that I don't like about the Citta Sling? Well, there's only really one thing I wish could have been done better, and one thing that could be, I don't know, controversial depending on you. But the one thing I wish was done a little bit better is the attachment points for the Citta Sling itself. So you only get this position here. There's nowhere else to attach the sling. So this is the way it's gonna run. Kind of traditional to most chest bags and slings of this nature. It's gonna have that slant orientation. Pretty much that's it, that's all you get. And I think because I've gotten a little spoiled by using the reworked Toshi sling, where it has multiple attachment points, so you can really orient the bag a little bit more flatter. And that's kind of where I like to carry my bags now, kind of more in this flatter situation here. So because there are no additional loops on the back to attach the strap, you don't get to adjust the sling in the carry position. It's gonna ride here. So if I wanted it to be a little bit more here, it's not possible. So maybe on a version 2, we could see these little attachment loops, maybe one up top here and here, and maybe one on the side here and here, to give you the option to move the strap around a little bit, just to give you a little bit of adjustment from here to here, just to make the bag a little bit more ergonomic for you, depending on how you like to carry. And lastly, the suggested retail price of $119 puts this in a very interesting place for me. Not because it's expensive, because I actually own a sling that's like 4 times this amount, but because once we get into that $120 range, it pushes into the plane of bags like Bellroy, Air, Alpaca, and even some of those bags that are made in premium materials like the Air Day Sling and Ultra. This is coming in right at that same price point as the Ultra Day Sling. So for me, it's interesting because with those X-Pack and Ultra and other premium material slings, I don't know if I would go Codra over some of those other slings that are equally priced with similar function. So that's why it's at an interesting price point for myself. Of course, everyone would like to get the best price possible, and you can do so by pre-ordering. But if you're in the market for a sling in this size and this function, you have your work cut out for you, because there's a lot of great slings in this size and in this category. But of course, tell me what you think of the $120 price tag, and tell me what you think of the overall design of Fyro's very first sling, the Citta. Now, if you're already grabbing the Levo travel backpack, grab the sling. There's nothing in this world I love more than a set of matching gear, and they are identical materials, so they're gonna be the exact perfect match, and I just love me a matching set. But let me know your overall thoughts on the Citta sling. Is this something you think you would carry for yourself? It's available in 2 sizes, so you could EDC one, you could travel with one. I mean, so overall a really classic design, and I do like it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Now, if you have any more questions about the Citta sling, definitely leave those questions down in the comment section down below. I respond to every single one. The goal of this channel is to always help you find the right gear for you. Now, if you liked this video, or if you found any information today helpful in any way, please consider hitting like and subscribe, as that directly supports me and the channel. Special thank you to Fyro for sending the Citta sling out for me to test and review. And I'm so glad you made it to the end of the video, so maybe I can see you on the next one.